You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek.io holds its talent to the highest standards, what follows will likely involve the sort of language usually reserved for sailors on leave. If you're of a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
Geeking out across the globe. Hold on to your butts. It's the Geek I Show.
The Geek I Show.
Yes, indeed, friends. Hello and welcome. Ow.
I'm dying now.
That was unexpected.
Stop dying, CJ.
This is the Geek I Jesus.
This is Geek I dying.
Well, true to movie form, we open up with a parent dying.
Oh, this is a Geek I Show episode.
I didn't want to have a Disney show.
Episode number 244, the Rant and Review of FullMetal Alchemist, recorded the 2nd of May, 2018. I am your host, CJ, more like faux Philosopher's Stone, Boat. It's May the 3rd. I didn't write the note.
Close it with May the 4th be with you.
I just read what's on there.
And afterwards you have the Revenge of the 5th.
I'm Raul, and I was ready for you this time. CJ.
I'm Dale. Never trust a red phone booth in a thunderstorm, Campbell.
I'm Rachel, and technically I'm not really here, but I'm here because why the F not?
I'm Kerry, and sandwiches.
And because the movie was sorely lacking, I'm Ready Steady Josh.
Oh. Hey, that's actually a funny joke because there's a show out here called Ready Steady Cook, and now I'm imagining that show, but Ready Steady Josh.
Alternatively, I was going to be ScarJ.
Oh, that would have been good.
But I wanted to make Philosopher's Stone a thing.
Yeah,
I like Philosopher's Stone.
I know. I know.
Stone's good.
I know you do.
Death by Mage says sandwiches are the best. So there you go.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about the 2017 FullMetal Alchemist Netflix in America movie, live action movie. Hagagane no
Renkinjutsushi.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
Hugh dies a 4th time.
Poor Hughes.
Poor Hughes.
Yeah, they really phoned that one in.
Yeah. Two Alchemist brothers go on a quest for right. Two Alchemist brothers go on a quest for the Philosopher's Stone after an attempt to revive their dead mother goes horribly wrong.
Haven't they discovered that trying to reanimate dead people is a bad thing?
That's why I was in live action this time.
Just still doesn't help.
Well, I mean, even the tiny little kid was like, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Oh boy, those kid actors. Oh boy. This was released on Netflix. Again, it's going to have different dates in Japan but I don't have those dates because that's not what's on IMDb. It's February 19th, 2018.
Yeah, that's the UK one. It didn't have the States one in there. So I don't know.
Netflix originals typically premiere the same day.
Okay.
Like the ones, the Marvel Netflix ones hit everywhere at the same day. It's at midnight of that given day.
Yeah.
Of that particular time zone.
Right.
So Ryosuke Yamada, Edward Elric, Tsubasa Honda, Winry Rockbell, the most common name here, Dean Fujioka, Roy Mustang, Ryota Sato, Mace Hughes, And freaking Kerry, move your thing.
Rachel, move your cursor. Oh, Kerry.
Kerry, move your cursor.
There you go.
Yasuko Renbutsu for Riza Hawkeye. I couldn't see through it.
Oh.
Those are the main actors. We'll get to this in a second. I'm going to talk about that later. Trivia. There's not much of it. Fumihiko Sori wanted the story to fit within one film, but the FullMetal Alchemist manga was way too fucking long. So he decided to adapt about a third of the original source material. About most of season 1 of the anime is in there.
Okay.
The map used to locate lab number 5 in the film was an old map of the town of Bolton in England. Once again, this movie should not have had Japanese. Filming began in June 2016 in Italy, and ended on August 26, 2016 in Japan. Yosuke Yamada carried out his own stunts while filming. Cool. Good for him.
I know, right?
Atome Mizushi was brought on as a motion capture for Alphonse Elric. Director Fumihiko Sori was so impressed with his performance that he cast Mizushi as Alphonse's voice actor as well, with the approval from Alphonse's original voice actor, Rie Kugamiya. Blah, blah, blah. Well-known quotes from the trailer to his brother. I promise I'll get our bodies back.
I'll get your bodies
And that's
back.
it. And that's it. That's.
I'll get your bodies back. Woo! I'm bringing your bodies back.
Dale, I am very curious that you have no idea, like...
I have no idea.
You have no idea the source material on this, because you're not an anime watcher, right?
I am not an anime watcher, no. I was talking about this in the pre-show, that the only real thing that I'm familiar with, quote-unquote, is Death Note, because I've seen bits and pieces of it. So that's the only real anime that I've kind of dug my teeth into, I suppose. And I still have no idea, so I don't know. You'll probably have to prompt me here.
No worries. No, it was more so just that actually was what I wanted out of you, is the fact that how. Wait, are we still on me playing Atelier LSL?
No.
No.
I am on vacation. But apart from that,
sorry, I was looking at the. Yes, we absolutely are.
No, it says rant and review over here.
Game and category.
Gaming category.
Information. Done.
Done. And no, okay, but I'll digest on this. I'll elaborate a little bit more. I think, and this comes down to the production of this. This movie, I don't think, did a very good job trying to tell the story that it was meant to. I think it got very caught up into the fact that, oh, we're a live-action movie and we're going to take advantage of that, as opposed to kind of remaking a season of an anime into a live-action movie.
A lot of this went on, and a lot of this went on needing to have prior knowledge of it, because unlike the horribleness that is Death Note and stuff like that, you are not expected to know anything with Death Note. You can go into Death Note fully blind, but this being a Japanese movie, they expect you to have some semblance of
Working knowledge,
or else, it's gonna be really weird. I could definitely see that.
But in this case, it led to lazy execution. Like, I felt like a bunch of cosplayers got a Sony Handycam and a copy of After Effects and started acting out scenes from the anime.
I could definitely see that.
I can see that. That I can say.
Rachel and I watched this in a dub, by the way.
I wanted to do that so bad, because I'm like, I don't know Japanese, spoiler alert, and again, I don't watch much anime, so it forced me to pay attention to this movie, which is not a bad thing, but 4 hours of Japanese in one hit's a bit rough.
So 4 hours. It's over 2 hours, which, I mean, considering they were trying to tell a season, it's still truncated a lot. I mean, a huge, massive character was missing from this entirely.
Yes, and his presence was very much felt in its
yes,
absence.
it was.
Was there a huge
We're switching this up, by the way, a little bit. As we kind of been playing around with this, we're kind of doing everything up top essentially, and then we're going to do the rant, the basically the what we our numerical feelings of it on the second half of the show. So we're no longer just doing like production stuff and things like that. Just if you're a rant review purist, I'm sorry, we all kind of felt really weird.
Right.
Can't do one without the other. Why are we doing it this way?
So it was Scar was a major character in a major character in the manga and the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Josh, Kerry, I've read all of the Full Metal Alchemist manga.
Okay, so my question for you before you go any further, the entire last half of the movie, did that actually happen in the source material?
Yes. But
Okay.
it had Scar in it. And Scar was a major part of it. Like, the dummies opened up, and I'm like, wait, we didn't get a Butcher in Lab 5, and we don't have Scar. What the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
Okay, there just again, not knowing much about the source material, it seemed like there was a lot of things missing in that.
Yes,
file.
absolutely.
Like, it just seemed very empty. Like, it was
And
a
up
very
until-
empty
Up until Lab 5, it went pretty well along with the source material. Like, everything, I mean...
Show Tucker they kind of brought him in from the original Full Metal.
Yeah, which I kind of like. I like his portion. I like his part better in the non-manga Full Metal Alchemist more than his weird drawn out thing in Brotherhood and in the manga. Like what you were saying, Kerry, about like cosplayers. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that I can make a better Full Metal Alchemist cosplay with just what I have in the house. And that would be me wearing my Archer outfit, a blonde Rachel's Lucy wig, and me making a cardboard arm.
And
So
see,
basically-
here's part of the problem.
I
Is that
kind of want to do full cardboard alchemist now that I'm thinking about it.
part of the problem is that
cardboard alchemist.
these are military uniforms. They are supposed to be clean. They are supposed to be elegant, sharp lines, no interruptions, and they tried to fancify them. And the type of aesthetic that these uniforms were designed to be, you don't fancify these.
Yeah.
They are supposed to be elegant and utilitarian.
Yes.
And you try to make them out of some fancy weird ass moleskin suede material that looks all spotty and gross when it rains, which it rains a lot in this movie.
Because it's England. Because it's in England.
The
And it's in Germany. There's a Führer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
And the weird sleeve details for no reason, and like they tried to pretty it up, but really all you needed was good, crisp blue suiting and some interfacing, and it would have been spot on.
yeah, like
I can go to MegaCon and buy a better costume than that.
yeah, like in the anime, their suits are sharp. Like Kerry was saying, they're
Yeah, the only
sharp,
person that
clean.
really had anything, special about him was Edward, because that's what he is. He is the protag. You are supposed to notice him.
Yeah, and he's not a military officer. He's a civilian state alchemist. So yeah, he wears civilian clothes.
Well, state alchemist is a part of the military, essentially.
Yeah,
You're basically a contractor, which being
Yeah,
a
he's
military contractor in a previous
If
life, you
I-
are essentially a part of the military.
If I
Yeah,
remember
but
correct,
he's still a civilian contractor. He's not, Lieutenant Elric.
actually he is technically major, isn't it? In the lore wise, he has like a rank of a major.
Or probably like an equivalent of a
Yeah,
major.
yeah, equivalent of a major, but he's not.
Yeah, he has nobody underneath him. He is not anybody's commanding officer.
Yeah.
He has a respect level given to him. Essentially, he would be a supervisor or a program director if you were working with a U.S. contractor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
People had wigs that didn't need wigs. Like Hughes's wife had a wig. Winry had a fake ponytail, and
Yep.
then Ed Elric, they painted his hair blonde so that it was stiff and didn't move, and Bobby pinned a fake braid into it.
Yep.
Yep.
it was awkward seeing the young kids with blonde hair.
Yes.
I wasn't
And-
the only one because
No. And we had this kind of this discussion when we had Nick Shaw on from Reanime. This movie was unnecessarily yellow washed, and it's really weird. Like, it's so weird detaching yourself from the fact that this takes place in Europe,
in industrial Europe.
Yeah, and it's nothing but Asians. Like, the only thing that I can give this one is they brought back a bunch of the original dub voice actors for the Netflix dub. So you had Vic Mignola being Ed. You had Travis Willingham doing Mustang. You had Laura Bailey being Lust. Like, it was nice hearing those voices because
Glad I switched the audio then.
Yeah, I went on Japanese and it was like
I can't stand Laura Bailey's voice and I can't stand Vic Mangina, so
the only, like, given the fact that we didn't get an introduction to Fuhrer King Bradley in this, I'm hope they get Sabat to do him again.
You know what else this
you think this is gonna get a sequel?
I do, because Japan.
You know what else this movie was missing?
Colonel Armstrong. It was missing Colonel Armstrong.
Colonel Armstrong. It was missing the real Winry. It was missing Hughes's daughters, which is the majority of his character, and it was missing a fucking score.
Yes. There were parts where, like, even sound effects were gone. But like I'm
sorry. When a kid with a metal arm, albeit in a glove, is punching a hollow suit of metal armor, it should not sound like.
Yeah.
And even when he's punching a wall with his right arm, you should still hear a metallic clank. Or when he's punching,
there was literally nothing
a human
there.
being. Like when he was punching Nina's dad, it should have sounded like a metal bat indenting in someone's skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was nothing.
See, Death by Mage thinks they're getting a sequel too.
You know what else the movie was missing?
What?
And anybody catch the name of Mustang's assistant?
That's right. They never named her.
No, they never did name Hawkeye, did they? They just called her Lieutenant.
No, and they
Lieutenant the entire time, and her entire character was
nothing.
And you don't even get to see her using her signature weapon on screen.
No,
her sniper rifle. Yeah.
No, her signature is the Colt 1911.
They showed it, but she never used it.
No, they showed her using a bolt-action rifle, which...
Oh, wait, she had a handgun, but it wasn't a 1911.
Yeah, this did feel like a classic like Death by Mage said, whoever did post-production was clearly rushing the process. This feels like a classic Japanese, what you would get out of a smaller anime company with like, hey, we need to get this done on this deadline. This filming took way too long, and now we have to get this out by this point.
Yeah, I can't believe they took 2 whole months on it. I mean...
Yeah, well, it felt like they were doing the anime thing where they were just it was too long, or something took too long, or some kind of weird needed to be re-edited or something like that, and it was just rushed.
The editing was jarring.
Yes,
the dialogue was also jarring.
Yes.
Yeah, the only thing that saved that one for me is and like. The American voice actors did a little bit more to kind of fix that a little bit. But yeah, like I had subtitles on and yeah, that was bizarre. Like,
okay. Except Dale. Oh, you're trying to talk, Dale? Oh, we can't hear you.
We cannot hear you.
Dale glares angrily at the microphone. Keeps holding in different positions. Thinking,
okay, he says keep going while he's
okay.
I'm MST3 King.
Right.
I'm trying.
So, like, okay, you've seen the original FullMetal Alchemist and then FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood, right?
I have not seen Brotherhood, but I've seen the original show, which is part of why I was so fucking confused in the second half of the movie.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, they didn't do this. They didn't do that in the original.
Yeah, because the manga wasn't done yet, so they had to do a anime original.
It's been a hot minute since I've watched the OG FullMetal Alchemist.
The original FullMetal, it was drama and serious, but it did have a little bit of comedy in it.
Yeah,
a little bit of entertainment.
It had characters in it.
Yes, it had like you had Edward, way too serious. And then when he did try to emote,
he was doing that. Okay, has anybody here seen either Japanese or like Taiwanese rom-com TV dramas?
Yep.
You know how they have that like goofy, over-exaggerated way of emoting where they just make their eyes bug out for no reason?
Yeah, trying to emulate anime, and
Yeah, they were doing that for no reason.
yeah, absolutely, and it was that was bizarre. Like,
you don't. Well, no, Izumi doesn't come out till second season, right?
Yeah, he's
Well-
second season.
Well, technically, the way the story goes, it's like they lose their mother. Whoa.
Dale's exploding, I think.
Okay.
Hi, I'm
Hey,
exploding.
Dale. Welcome back.
Hi, am I here? Hi.
Yes.
Thanks.
So
Uh,
they lose their mother. They find an alchemist teacher, which is Izumi.
Yep.
Then they come back with all that knowledge and perform the human transmutation. You're missing like a good, what, like 5 years?
Yeah. It is. I like. Okay. The missing characters are the major thing that I have an issue with, and maybe it's like I said, Rachel and I have a very long running love affair with FullMetal Alchemist, and especially with the English dub.
yeah.
That is one of the few animes that I've actually sat down and watched from beginning to end and got fucking emotional over.
Ow.
Yeah.
Are you
And
dying
that-
again? Please don't die again. Please don't die again. We've had too many deaths on the show so far.
And that's part of what bothers me about this movie is that I remember getting really emotional. I remember crying when Hughes died. And this
Yeah.
movie packed no emotional punch for me whatsoever.
Yeah, because in the
I was
anime,
like getting-
Hughes was he was a comic relief, but then he also knew.
he was a father figure.
Yes.
Like, so by the way, Hughes with coming in, probably nobody's surprise. Okay, so pull a little bit into the mana pool here for a second.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna say.
I originally created a character named Aaron Hughes.
Mhm.
And he was an alchemist who had a very similar story set, power set and story side to May's. Dale, I didn't get the opportunity to make that character because I asked Dale to come back on. He's like, cool, but I don't really have time or the energy to make a character. So I'm like, hey, I have this character that's already built that I think you would enjoy. Let's make it yours.
Right.
And that's what's made Sylvia and thusly spawning into a whole family.
Right. The Mana Pool Family Ties Edition.
Hughes has a
Family Pool.
family pool.
Family
Hughes has
pool.
a huge impact on me as a character designer. Like, I love everything about his character.
Because he acts the fool.
Yeah, because he's witty, he's funny, he can be he can be a fool, he can be everybody's friend, but he can be the most serious man that you could possibly think of. Like, and most of all, he's a father. And this, while you had a little bit of it,
Yeah, at the dinner scene.
yeah, but given the fact that this is I forget how many episodes are in the first season up until the Lab 5 arc, but you had a whole bunch of anime episodes compressed into 2.5 hours.
And I get that, and it did feel a bit rushed in parts. It's kind of like, here's this thing that probably is significant, but you'll learn about that. You already know that if you watch the anime. I'm kind of going, what? No, slow down. And then there's other parts where it's just establishing shots that go, like, there's scenes and shots that go nowhere. Like the girl running down the running with her gun down the not the hallway,
The
the
alley.
laneway. Yeah, the alley. With
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dead grey bodies. Like, that didn't go anywhere. Like, what
Yeah,
was
it-
that?
she came back
that
out.
happened?
Hawkeye doing fucking girl run with her gun. She is a trained military officer. She would not move like that.
That also.
That bothered me as well because
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
kind of looked
but they showed
very
her running into
CG,
the
even though it
off-screen.
wasn't.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, girl run is one of my pet peeves. where you see in anime or video games any female character who's running and just flounces.
I mean, I run like that in my everyday life. Rachel can attest to that.
He does.
But even when it's out of character for a female character to be moving like that, they still make them move like that because they're girls. And
Unnecessarily.
unnecessarily, and
Like-
it really frustrates me.
Like Hawkeye is a badass.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Hawkeye is a badass. I don't know who this character is that they attributed the name to in the credits, but that wasn't Hawkeye.
And that's the thing is, like, we talk about missing characters. A lot of characters were missing while they were on screen. Hawkeye was a doormat and a mannequin. I mean, she failed the sexy lamp test, for God's sake. Hughes is... oh, has Dale never heard the sexy lamp test?
What
It's a
is
test-
that?
It's a
Is
test
that
for
what-
characterization. Basically, if you can replace a character in a piece of media with a sexy lamp and it doesn't affect the story, they fail the sexy lamp test.
I have so many questions, but I don't
You
think
couldn't.
this
You
is
couldn't
the
tell
show
the.
for
I
that.
mean, the sexy lamp couldn't have told those people to fire.
I mean, you could throw the
Okay.
lamp, and that's the signal to fire. Is you just throw a leg lamp at somebody.
Okay,
Hughes-
can I ask
Hughes
a
is-
really dumb question? Sorry,
What?
can I ask a really dumb question? What's a sexy lamp?
The leg lamp from Christmas Story.
Just
Please
Google leg
tell me
lamp
you
dance.
have seen that movie.
Just Google sexy lamp style. It's
No,
fine.
Google leg lamp specifically.
Leg lamp.
Leg lamp. Do not
Yeah.
Google sexy lamp with safe search off.
Yeah, you don't want to
Hughes-
see what comes up with that.
Yeah, a bunch of
Hughes
grinder
is supposed
profiles.
to be a proud father, madly in love with his wife and daughter, and instead that is almost completely taken out. Winry is supposed to be a
Gearhead.
brilliant, sassy, overall wearing grease monkey. And
Yep.
instead, she is a whiny, sobby-eyed love interest who just follows Ed around for no reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes attaches his auto mail back on.
Sometimes
But
when
you
he
don't actually
feels
see any of that.
no.
And they didn't even do like the first arc very well at all.
No,
The,
they did not. I mean, like, given the fact that Scar being one of my favorite characters, his absence is really irritating to me. Like,
Well, yeah, because he pushes character growth in Edward.
yeah, because Edward hates him originally, and he forces him to reflect upon himself what he has been taught, what he has to reevaluate literally everything.
And they don't even go over the Eric's I don't want to call it a mantra, but their ethics where they do not want to kill anyone
No,
to
yeah,
achieve what they want, because
Yeah.
they set up pretty early that they don't want to kill anyone to achieve their task.
no, they don't. That's only at the end. Like
that
that
only at the end?
only when he gets the Philosopher's Stone is he like, I don't want to do this with using a
Oh.
life.
Yeah, in the movie, but in the series,
Oh yeah,
that's constantly like, no.
Yeah. And at that point, there's no conflict because Lust is already dead. They have a free ticket right there, and you could argue that the most ethical thing to do at that point would be to use it so nobody else can find it and use it for something bad.
exactly.
Also, sidebar, that was very uncomfortable. Was the tearing open of the chest to reveal the stone, and I think it was just because of the noises associated with it. It was
Yeah, that
just
was some weird noises.
so gross.
Did anyone else notice that her dress looked like fingers holding her boobs?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, that's not too far outside of her legit costume. Lust,
Aggressive.
the homunculi I didn't mind. The homunculi I liked. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I actually liked the homunculi. Lust felt like Lust. Envy, because Envy was always kind of this nebulous entity in the anime. You kind of got that. And he looked all right. He looked fine.
Yeah, Envy really doesn't come out till like the second season. Like,
Yeah. Spoiler alert: Envy's not dead.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
a post-credit scene about that.
thank
Oh,
goodness.
there's no way I was late enough coming to this show because of
No. I did the Netflix scroll because it shows the preview.
I really really want to talk about the post-credit scene, though.
Oh yeah, what was the post-credit screen? Post-credits
Well,
scene.
They go
Post
back to the
credits.
crispy corpse of Envy on the chain link fence, and the head cracks open and the little green eyeball thing comes out.
Okay.
Which it sets himself up for a sequel. Which that was my biggest thing with it. It's just like, no, you aren't getting a sequel. Why are you doing this post-credit scene? No one's gonna watch your shitty sequel.
Kimberly doesn't
Japan
come out
will.
till the second season, right?
Ugh.
What was that, Raul?
Kimberly doesn't come out till the second
Yeah,
season.
Kimberly's second season.
Which all these people are incredible characters.
Yeah, I am just if this does get a sequel, I just hope that they hand it off to a different, give it off to a different company.
Just let
Or-
Reanime do it.
Right?
They do an amazing job.
Oh,
damn
did
it,
you watch the behind the scenes video that they posted? Well, you posted it on
Oh,
Twitter.
Reanime? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I watched literally everything that those people put out.
They're amazing work. Go check them out on YouTube. They're amazing people. In their house.
Dale, I have a very important question for you in Hangouts, by the way.
That's good to know.
But yeah,
I
like,
haven't received any messages.
I just sincerely hope that either they get their shit together or give it to another studio, because with Netflix putting their money behind it, showing that, hey, giving this production company, hey, we want to see this, we want to have more stuff of this, but let's put some quality behind it.
Right.
Like the major issue of the major issue that I have on the Netflix side of things is the English dubs felt like it was very obviously like edited in, and some of the audio quality was kind of sketch in places.
Mhm.
But like that wasn't the actors. The actors were on top of their games. Like the actors felt, except for those god awful child actors at the beginning.
Why?
What?
No,
Shit,
my
sorry,
biggest
yeah,
issue with
fine.
the child actors is Al is not supposed to be. I don't know if we should do this. Why do I sound so lethargic?
Why am I so high?
I'm sitting there going, okay, I get he's a little kid, and yes, he's supposed to be like kind of withdrawn, but that's not until after he becomes a full metal hollow creature, because he doesn't know how to deal with it.
That's
at
the
that
sequel,
point.
Full Metal Hollow Creature.
And here's the thing. Baby Gamora is about the same age as these guys. And if you've seen that movie, you know who the better actor is.
Yes.
Yes.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like these kids were a production.
Sexy
kid.
Lamppost could stand in for both of these kids and not make a damn difference in the scenes.
It felt like it was a family member. Like it felt like somebody brought their kids to work one day, and they were like,
Hey, use those.
we need those, but we're not shooting that scene. We need them.
So
We need filler for this 9-hour movie somehow.
And you notice they reused adult Ed for the flashbacks later on.
Yes.
I want to put the kids back.
Yeah, the only time you see the kids again was when like the direct pulling back the same video from prior.
Also, did you notice that they actually used the super stereotypical small Japanese child standing like this and crying trope?
Yep.
Oh, I had something I was going to say. The homunculi, gluttony.
Hear me go honk.
Yeah, okay. Gluttony, when they're in the tunnel and he transforms with his like big
Oh,
old
and you
stomach
actually
open.
see him?
Yeah, and
Yes.
he's like that, like walking. He looked like a Power Rangers villain. He's just walking around like that. Blah, blah.
No, recent Super Sentai series have had better costume work.
Like I said, I did not mind the
Center had better. Yeah.
I kind of miss anime gluttony though, because anime gluttony was actually kind of cute. And I get that they were going for creepy and edgy for the homunculi, so it makes sense that they styled gluttony the way they did. But I also miss adorable potato gluttony.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was a fat Uncle Fester. Really? No one?
No, I can see that, but yeah.
Like the big problem with the live action Gluttony was there was like some serious design dissonance going on with him. And the acting direction was weird because like he was trying to be adorable potato Gluttony while also being creepy post mind wipe Gluttony.
Yeah.
They said I could eat them all.
Yeah, by the way, 25 episodes finished up Lab 5.
Oh, jeez.
No,
How
no.
many
But then
episodes
again-
are in the season?
In those 25 episodes, you had a little bit of filler. You
Yeah,
had
this is from the original Full Metal Alchemist, by the way. Why did that send me to there? Not
Whoa. Didn't say
and
they
like
just sexy
how
plants
they
the
made sure to show you the tattoos. Like,
Yeah.
Like okay, envy's lust, but then gluttony, which is on his tongue. They like made a point to like here it is. Look,
Yeah,
he's
and
got
that
one.
was the thing with anime versus live action was in the animated material, Gluttony had the comically exaggerated tongue, so it was easier to see.
Yep.
But live action version looked like he was trying to do a Gene Simmons impression.
And they sure
Really bad
love
one,
showing Lust's tattoo.
Hey, they paid good money for those.
She was fine.
I mean, her design was the best, but I will always take issue with boob cam for the sake of boob cam.
Best in quotation marks. Because the
Okay,
competition isn't that high.
Yeah, but still.
Right. Yeah, you don't need all of whatever that was. Yeah.
All right, 8 episodes, 9 episodes in Brotherhood. Still.
Yeah,
Still.
and I mean, okay, so it's been a hot minute
That's almost 5 hours.
since I've seen FMA at all, other than this movie. But wasn't the genocide in Ishtar like a huge fucking part of the story?
Oh yeah,
Ishval.
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 Yes.
I told you it's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. And it did a lot of things, especially to Hughes. Like
Also Mustang.
he covered up a lot of his, his pain and anguish over what happened in Ishval with his humor. And that was never explained. Mustang is as cold and is as cold and disconnected as he is because of what he had to do. And that was completely gone over. But you had to, because if you were going to get into that, you'd have to pull Scar in. And you fucking didn't bring in Scar.
Well, I mean, it was bad enough seeing the clip of Japanese people in brown face in the...
Yeah.
That kind of annoyed me a little. It's kind of like, it's technically you're doing blackface.
That's racist.
Let's not do that.
And Josh, I'm beginning to think more and more that you should be glad they didn't try to put Armstrong in, because can you imagine what they would have done with that character?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't pull Bradley and Armstrong into this, because those two characters have to have a certain persona about them. And and while I am a defender of this movie, I didn't hate it. They did a lot. They could have done a lot better than this, and that's what that irritates me. It really does.
They just need to get a guy holding up a cardboard cutout of All Might and doing the Armstrong voice, and that's who plays Armstrong.
The voice actor, I go back to this every time, but it's Sabat in English, and it's Sabat does Bradley and Armstrong.
So whenever they need like a big old burly guy, they get Chris Sabat?
Basically.
Because he's both Vegeta and Piccolo, right?
Yes. Since Scott McNeil is no longer Piccolo.
So he plays big old burly guys and also tiny burly guys.
Yes.
I'm starting to think
And best dad and grandpa ever.
Yes.
But Kerry, you know what he doesn't play?
What doesn't he play?
Giant dwarfs.
No, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next week.
I
Don't
I did not even say what show or movie it was, Charles Joseph. Don't you even.
We're not even trying to play around that fire.
What? I'm so confused.
Exactly. We're not playing around with that fire.
I am dancing around the circle of an iris. So
we can do
this is something we can talk about because it's relevant to the, schedule of anime. Like half the reason I didn't like this movie as much as I possibly could have is it really just shone a spotlight on how much better the Rurouni Kenshin movies are.
Yeah, I can't easily get those though.
We have them on Blu-ray. You can come over and watch them.
Helps me, but not those two that are on this side for me.
Oh, so
those
Rurouni
two.
Kenshin,
Those two now, Raul. Those two.
At its essence, it's a samurai movie, and Japan can do samurai movies.
Yeah, and the thing is, and that's the difference, is they approached the Rurouni Kenshin movie, they made it a period samurai film, but added anime twists here and there to make it a faithful in spirit adaptation. The FullMetal Alchemist movie, they straight up took some cosplayers and tried to act out the anime word for word, and then cut it down into 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would have knocked them. Well, yeah, some people would have knocked them if they actually got German actors.
Yeah, they would have knocked them, but it's
knocked them.
Like for us, that would have been ideal because not even just like, hey, we want this, we want white people. It is staying, none of these characters were Asian or portrayed as Asian in any of the source material. They were all pale skin, wide-eyed characters.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
They are European.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in Brotherhood, the only Asian characters were Ling and Mei Ling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The characters from Asia Land. I can't remember the name of the country.
Asia Land, everyone.
Shin?
It's a new hot
Isn't it
theme
Shin?
park coming soon.
But yeah, like the characters that come from Asia Land are Asian. The characters that come from Saudi Arabia land are Middle Eastern. The characters that come from Europe land are European. Like it's not hard.
Ding ding ding! You're a winner. You get chicken.
So yes, they yellow washed this movie unnecessarily, and it felt like they just needed to get as many hey, you auditioned for a movie once. Do you want to be in this one? I love FullMetal Alchemist. Sweet, now you're Edward. What? I'm not blonde. Now you're Edward. Shut up. Put on this wig.
We'll make you blonde. Yeah, that doesn't matter. I don't know. I think my main thing is that because wasn't familiar with the source material, this was all fresh to me, and it just seemed as well. The other main problem with it is it all just had one drone-ish tone to it. It didn't really go up or it didn't really go down. It just stayed at the same level all throughout the movie.
Because they needed to get from point A to point B in 2.5 hours. And that was it. That was all that mattered. Yeah. And they shoved out all character development. They shoved out all emotion. They shoved out all of... I'm being very aggressive towards this movie, but again, I didn't hate it.
So,
but right now you're in critic mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I can like a movie and not like it productionally. Like
the opening scene of this movie, instead of them running down the priest, they don't even name him, do they? They just call him the prophet or the holiness.
Holiness, I think. No.
Do they call him Cornello?
No, they don't. They call him Your Holiness, and they call him the pastor.
Yeah,
the pastor. There you go.
You could,
even though he's clearly based on a Catholic priest, but whatever.
You could have opened the movie on the him tricking him to expose himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole plot.
Yep.
He could have been on that part where like you see the microphone, you see you see Alphonse in the clock tower hooking up the bell. That could have been the opening scene without all this running and
oh shit.
Yeah,
I'm dying over here. Apparently,
don't die.
And instead, they did this weird comic relief sequence where they make Edward look like a bumbling idiot for no reason.
It doesn't work because his character is super serious in this movie.
Yeah. Like the only time that you got any of like quote unquote the anime Edward was in that initial scene because yeah, while he is, he is the strongest there is because reasons, he also has a sense of humor. He also likes to goad his opponents into thinking that he is being beaten and just wipes the floor with them when he's done with them. Edward's not a great person with anybody outside of his immediate family. His immediate circle.
But it doesn't translate onto film, so it just makes it look like the character sucks at stuff for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And
because you didn't get any of the buildup. You didn't get any of like him, you didn't even get the Eye of Truth until after that scene. Like, so you have no idea that he is special. You have no idea what is going on with him, even until the weird rock alligators come up after him. It's like, oh, right, you have an artificial arm.
So, and he's not very serious when it comes to Mustang. Like that whole thing where he's like being scolded by him. In the anime, he's just shrugging the whole thing off.
Yeah, and the only time you get him being jovial with that is when he's walking down the hallway with Hughes.
Right. And well, okay then.
Hughes, even though he was not the Hughes that we know and love, he is still the best person in this movie.
Oh yeah, by and large.
Right, but okay, now I'm learning that it seems like that this was put together out of order.
Yeah, it absolutely felt like it.
No, I was this point. So I'm going. Okay, we must be flashing back to some reference that I don't understand, which is.
No, it absolutely was put together out of order. Like, I mean, not only one, they're trying to tell things in a dramatic way. They also, it's very obvious that this movie was filmed all over the place, and these actors were beaten down.
Like, intentionally meant to sound dumb on this episode. I know that's my whole stick, but
no, Dale. No, I did not do this because I wanted to make fun of you for not being an anime person.
No, I get that.
I pitched the initial anime month to actually get you into this. Dale, I like sharing things that I love with you, and I wanted to share anime with you in the weirdest possible way. So
thank you for giving me this 25-hour experience.
I did not know that this movie was like this.
No, I'm going to respond to that real quick, and we'll go to Kerry. But I appreciate that, and I'm always trying to discover new things, and sometimes I don't really have time to check out everything, and I do want to check out the Death Note movie. And
exactly, movies are a nice, like, compact thing where you could sit down for 2-ish hours and get a story. Right. FullMetal Alchemist did not give you a real good story, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Also, the thing too is that from a podcasting standpoint and a review standpoint, whether or not you've seen the source material makes a huge difference in how you perceive what you're watching. So having you on the show when everyone else has seen FMA is really fucking important.
I honestly think if we do Death Note, and I don't know what our next anime movie is going to be because we have to deal with the movie next week and stuff. Like, I'm very curious on, like, because now we did a yellow wash movie. I might make us watch Death Note because it's fully whitewashed and go to the other end of the spectrum and see, like, people like you and Rachel who have no idea. Rachel doesn't even know what Death Note is. Like,
it's the exercise book, right? They go to school, they write their names.
Other than the fact that Rachel knows that I got pissed off at the Death Note anime because they canceled Bleach for it.
And I read a couple chapters of it in Shonen Jump because it was by the same author who did Hikaru no Go, which was amazing, by the way, and hated it and stopped reading it.
Yeah.
I watched most of the anime and read all of the manga, and it was a thing.
Well, okay, I take it back. I didn't actively hate it. It just lost my interest.
No, I actively hated it because coming nobody's surprise, I love my shonen bullshit. And that show canceled my favorite shonen bullshit show at the time. Like, they took Bleach off the air for this show, and I'm like, the fuck is this? The fuck is this blue dark bullshit?
That went from shonen bullshit to shown in bullshit.
Yes. And I was out because I didn't like it, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm done.
With the Death Note, more likely that will be our next movie. But
Yeah,
I was reading the manga like I think it was like week to week when it was coming out chapters. That summer, I think it was 2006 or 2007. I can't remember, but yeah,
It's a thing, but for some reason, especially Americans think it's one of the greatest freaking anime that's ever hit the freaking United States.
And that was
Australians are the same, right?
Oh, Australians love Death Note too.
Oh,
especially,
yeah, no, people
especially white squealy yaoi fangirls fucking love Death Note.
No, 'cause-
no, that's what it is. But again, white.
Important
middle-
update.
Yes.
We have an electrical longboard.
Yay, electrical longboard.
Longboard.
so
Yay, welcome.
has
Hey, Christopher. High five. There you go.
has the fallout from Sword Art gone away yet, or are the fans still crazy about that?
No, people still kind of go crazy about it. I'm still kind of Delbert's really trying to sell me on Sword Art because he's like, when we were in Boston, he's like, "No, CJ, you don't understand." I'm like, "No, Delbert, I understand. This anime's trash."
Wait, is he talking about the new Sword Art one?
He actually doesn't like lolly gunners. He doesn't like lolly gunners that much.
Yeah, welcome to Anime Otaku Show with special guests Dale Campbell and Rachel Boat. But no, and white, youngish people, middle income, who enjoy getting around together to watch anime on a particular evening of the week, really liked Death Note, and I was kind of like, you know where this is heading, right, guys? And they're like, no, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And they all talk like that too. So,
Yes, they do.
and
So your friends who watch Death Note are Steve Irwin?
rest in peace, Steve Owen. Anyway,
A live action Sword Art would just be a fantasy game, wouldn't it?
Basically, you get Dungeons and Dragons, that movie with Marlon Wayans in it from back.
I loved that movie.
It would be
Oh my god, the Marlon Wayans D&D.
Yes,
Yes, I watched that like 3 times, and
I
think it's
I
better
think
every
I
time I
still
watch
own
it.
it. I think I still own it on DVD.
I watched that movie with my D&D group from high school. It was rough.
I love it. Ironically, that movie is my favorite ironic ever.
So
If they're going to adapt a video game manga into a movie, they should adapt Half Prince because Half Prince was awesome.
Or even Log Horizon.
Log Horizon was great because it was fantasy / cyberpunk. Is that the right word?
Yeah, well, it was fantasy and cyberpunk's a good word for it.
So FullMetal.
And plus you had a Lolly Ninja.
Or cyber or
But here's the thing. I think that it goes to show how much of an impression the movie made on at least a significant portion of the callers on our show is that we just keep talking about other shit.
Yeah, other movies. Yeah, you know a movie's good when we try and go off onto different tangents. But I think back to the D&D movie is the second watch is way better than the first one. 'Cause the first one you're just sitting there going,
The fuck?
wait, there's a second D&D
right.
movie?
No,
I'm
second
saying
watch.
second
Oh,
viewing
second
of
watch.
the-
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think there was a second D&D movie, but that one doesn't have Marlon Wayans in it, thus losing all of its charm.
What? He cranks that movie up to 11.
He does.
He's really making a day of it.
Is there a module for the D&D movie?
Probably not.
Sure, somewhere.
But yeah,
Death by Mage.
That I
Yeah,
made.
Death by Mage. But no, what Kerry said is, the fact that we're talking about so many other things kind of tells, what we thought about this. But I think, I don't have much else to say on this. So I'm willing to go ahead and call it a break if you guys are.
What? Death by Mage, there are 3 D&D movies?
Yes. Just like there are
that's
3
right.
in the Name of the King movies.
There are 3 in the Name of the King movies. There are 3. Was there 3 or 2 Blood Rain movies?
3 Blood Rain movies.
There's 3 Blood Rain movies, which I really do.
Far
want to
too
go
many Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
that's
18 and a half Resident Evil movies.
I love me some Mila Jovovich, but there's only so much she can save.
Yes.
Ooh. There's 19 other UA Bowl movies.
Yeah, if there's a
No
bad
protest.
video game movie, they'll. By the way, speaking of video game movies, apparently Rampage is just dumb good fun,
Apparently.
which
Apparently, I've heard
surprised
that.
the shit out of me. By the way.
Yeah. What was I gonna- there
That's
was a- there was a
interesting.
train
Isn't
of
that
thought
what
was
people
going there.
called whatchamacallit,
Jumanji?
Jumanji?
Yeah, guys,
Jumanji.
I kind of liked Jumanji.
That's okay. That's all
I
right.
kinda
You're
like
not
the
the only
movie
one.
Jumanji too, as much as it pains
I
me to say
Don't
it.
want to say that I liked it, but I actually kind of liked it, and I hate myself for it. And
So-
admittedly, a lot of it was The Rock. So
Well, that
No,
The Rock just
no,
eases the
CJ.
tension.
A lot of it was Jack Black having to play a
Yeah,
friggin'
my favorite
teenage
Jack Black movie, by the way.
girl stuck in his body.
This is officially my favorite Jack Black movie.
Yes.
I mean, the standards
Don't
aren't
you-
really
Yeah, the
that
standards
high.
are low. Like I was say, my favorite Jack Black live action movie because Kung
You've
Fu
got-
Panda.
Yeah.
You
annoying
shut your
Kung
mouth.
Fu.
But
I
by the way,
was
Dale,
equal in Kung Fu Panda 2.
Dale, as a side
Hey.
note, you've got a 9-month-old little boy looking at his mom going, "Mommy, my name!"
I know. I appreciate it.
He's a happy little munchie.
Hi, thank you, my fans. Thank you, little Christopher. Thank you.
Dale has fans.
I know it's
Hi,
real
Christopher.
weird. It's real weird.
Hi, Chris.
People enjoy what I say on the internet.
It's okay, Dale. It's only a 9-month-old. You're all right.
It's your target demographic.
He's a lit- He
So the
was
youngest
here
person
carefully
is a
today. He is
completely
two
youngest
stinking
fan.
kids. It made my heart happy. So after the week I've had, I needed that. It made me
No.
happy.
Please
And
tell
that
me
made
she
him happy.
please tell me she got him reacting to it on video.
Hope
I
so.
don't know, but apparently he looked at the screen and was watching Dale and looked back like,
School of Rock was enjoyable. Well, I'll give that that. School of Rock is the least egregious Jack Black live action movie that I could say because it's Jack Black pulling it in and actually showing the fact that he can fucking act.
he can. He just doesn't do it very often. Or really.
No,
ever.
Death My Mage, you're right. The new Jumanji absolutely will always have a place in our hearts, but the fact that they paid homage to that, they fucking said, this
Right.
is his life. This is his house. We merely live in it.
Right. And I actually liked the new angle on the Jumanji movie. I saw the first trailer. I'm kind of like, really? We're doing this? And then
Oh,
as
yeah,
more
absolutely.
trailers and more clips came out, it made more sense.
Honestly, I'm so glad they didn't go with a straight sequel or remake on this. Taking
Yeah.
it in a new direction was absolutely the right call.
Speaking of taking things in a new direction, FullMetal Alchemist was a movie, you guys.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, I don't have much else to say on the movie. I've said my pieces. Like I enjoyed it. It is far from a great movie. It's barely a good movie. And I honestly think the only thing that pushed it over to the point where it's somewhat a good movie is because I was able to enjoy the voice acting and they tried their best with what they were given.
So, okay, can I, let's go around the horn. CJ, did you, watch it in the dubbed version? So you had totally different voices
Yes.
come in for it and it was in English. I mean, I just defined what a dub is.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
You're correct.
The more elegant way to ask that is let's go around the table and say which language we watched the movie in.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you.
And Rachel and I watched it together, so we watched it in English.
All right.
And we would have watched Japanese, however, for the first 30 minutes. One, we were in the car. He was watching, I was driving, so I was just listening. And two, we were eating dinner with the kids, so he had the phone sitting in front of him watching it because I was technically going to be asleep at this point. But
With AJ, by the way, AJ liked this movie a lot. He's like, he goes, this is that one anime you were showing me, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is Full Metal Alchemist. He goes, can we watch the anime? I like this, but can we watch the anime? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
He likes the anime a whole lot better. He's not a fan of the live action.
No,
thing.
he liked it. He was enjoying it. He was enjoying it, and that's how I can tell about my feelings. I enjoyed this.
And I actually think that there's something to that. I think this was meant to be, because this is a Netflix original. That's my train of thought there.
YouTube.
Um,
Direct! drink.
While the train's getting back on the rails, we'll take our turn at the station. Josh and I watched it in Japanese because that's our personal preference. Moving on.
Okay. Yeah, no, I do have it. I also watched it in Japanese, but I think that there's something to that. Like, I think this being a Netflix original, I think it exposed FullMetal Alchemist to a larger audience, and I think that that's the pitch. Like, did you enjoy this? Well, there's loads more of.
Well, the full season is already on.
Yeah, Brotherhood is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, I meant to go back to the original and read the mangas. I to draw you in more. I don't think Brotherhood's on Australian Netflix. I don't.
The fun story on this one is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and its weird ass release schedule on Netflix is what got me into Funimation and then thusly Crunchyroll. Like, because I got so frustrated that they had seasons 1 through 4 of Brotherhood on Netflix, and if anybody knows the Brotherhood anime, 4 ends, and you're just like, the fuck, what? Go, no.
What about you, Raul? Where did
I
you
saw
watch
it
this
in the
Japanese?
original Japanese.
Okay, and I think I would have liked to have tracked down a dub. I don't think
I started watching it
watching this in Japanese. It hindered me a little bit.
Here's the thing, like, I tend to prefer watching things in their original languages. It's just my personal preference. But especially with live action, it is so distracting to me because of the lip movements if it's not in the native language.
That's fair. And there's some scenes where there's quite a bit going on, like in the village scene towards the beginning. Like there's a lot happening in that scene, and having unsynced mouths would have been a bit too chaotic.
I grew up watching Godzilla, so like unsynced mouths don't bother me.
Unsynced Mouths is my new punk band, by the way. We do Smash Mouth covers.
Sweet. I actually listen. You do Smash Mouth covers.
I rap on Generic Live Show now, so that's a thing.
Cool.
And I still have not seen this happen. What?
Because you don't like listening to podcasts, and every time I try to put on Generic Live Show, you get this glossy look on your face.
It's in the
like the one on Hawkeye's face the entire movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can check out the best bitch in the stream channel on the Discord. Geek-I.net, that's just good. Hey, let's move on.
There you go, Rachel.
All right. I mean, anything else before we head out of here?
I think the best way I can sum up my displeasure with this movie is it very much gives me the same feelings of having watched a Super Sentai series and then accidentally catching some of the Power Rangers bastardization on American television.
Oh, my eyes rolled again. Sorry.
It's okay. I understand, but like that's what it felt like to me. It's like, hey, this is something I recognize. No, it's not.
It's something similar to, but legally distinct from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it lost me. Was like, hey, this is Full Metal Alchemist. No, no, it's not.
It doesn't feel like there was love put into this.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It did seem very cheap too. I wonder what the budget was.
They spent it.
Like it was so all over the place with the effects quality. Like sometimes Alphonse looked fine, sometimes the alchemy CG looked terrible. When Ed is beating the shit out of Tucker and he gets like the black eye, you can see the lines on his eye where the prosthetic is applied.
Oh, and also the blood marks on Mr. Tin Man. You can that doesn't. Yeah. I was very pissed off at that. Can you tell? Hope you can tell.
And why did they feel the need to animate and CG Alphonse to move so fucking fluidly? He's an animated suit of armor. You should be getting clunky movements. You should be getting the sound of plate rasping on plate. Give him some gravitas to his movements, but instead he just looked fake.
Oh, during that whole moment where it's Ed and Al fighting, their whole like supposed to be a very dramatic scene between the brothers. I lost interest.
Yeah, it was just flat.
Because there's no emotional buildup to it. It's like, okay, now this has to happen. They're going down a checklist, basically.
Yeah.
Rather than actually trying to cultivate a character and build a scene and build dramatic tension, they're like, okay, now we're going here, and we're gonna do this thing, and now we're gonna go here, we're gonna do this thing.
And the editing reflects so much of that, and I think that is where my problem came in. But
Death by Mage says their post-production is almost as bad as Batman versus Superman.
ugh.
That's pretty bad. Okay, in chatting with Amber, she's losing her. She lost her mind with the hair. Ed's hair is supposed to be a longer braid. It was just extra over the hair.
Right.
I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, his hair gets more black in it, and then less black, and then more black, and then full blonde, and then there's roots, and then there's not. Like, what the hell?
Just put him in a wig. Put him in a lace front. Just a lace front from Arta Wigs would have looked better than that, because Arta Wigs are damn
I'm pretty sure the dollar store wig probably would have looked better.
Yeah.
I've got a couple from Walgreens after Halloween sales.
Right.
Like, I can hook them up.
CJ, I know we've been trying to go into a break for the past 10 minutes.
It's fine. No, we're discussing the movie, so it's fine.
Okay.
So, I mean, if we're good with talking about the movie, let's keep going. Let's do it.
I'm thinking this.
The sound mixing in this was just... the score sounds like they got generic royalty-free music and just slapped it over.
Yeah, I play better music than that.
And half the time there wasn't any.
Yeah, and it gets us demonetized when we were demonetized. It got us demonetized, Tail.
And just saying, we've got better music for Monopool than they had in this.
Hey, CJ.
Josh found us some real nice music for Monopool, which is also royalty free.
Exactly.
Mwah.
Our channel got demonetized, and no, my video's got
demonetized. But then things like the sound effects. You would think that you would hear Alphonse walking around.
Yeah.
You would think that you would. Okay, I really want to hear a dedicated Foley artist handle Ed's movements.
Yeah, because he should clank too.
It should be step clank, step clank.
Yeah. Or at least some kind of mechanical movement on his leg and his arm, because they're metal.
Throw a ratchet in there and call it a day.
Oh yeah. Did anybody else notice Winry's comically large wrench that was on scene for 2 seconds?
No, that was a shout. No, that was a shout out to That was a shout out to the anime. No, that was.
Okay.
It was so out of place.
I loved it. No, I loved it. I was so happy to see the ridiculously large.
Well,
spanner, and it's just like
the way you could explain that was that she found it because it was a canning factory, right?
But it was empty.
True.
It's empty.
If you're gonna have that happen, at least have clutter that got left behind, right? Have a pile of metal junk scattered around the room, and then have her standing by it when she picks up the spanner.
But where did she get it from? It just came out of nowhere.
It came from the land of, we need to get something to shout out to the anime fans.
Oh, I thought it came from.
And God forbid they put her in overalls instead of a short skirt.
Or I don't know, blonde hair.
I mean, she does wear a skirt occasionally in the anime, but that's the thing, is they made her girl.
Yeah, the outfit that when they were on the train going to Dr. what's his Manutsits, that was an accurate, pretty accurate with what she wore.
She wore a dress?
Yeah, she wore a dress. She was out traveling. She was not wearing her overalls.
Okay.
But it's the fact that all she wore was token girl attire.
Yes. Yeah, they did have an issue with giving any kind of strength to the girls in this. And I think that might have just been the production company of this being the more stereotypical Japanese person than what the mangaka and anime creators were.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show you that whoever adapted this did not truly understand the source material, because they they deleted a lot of the things that define the characters and the story.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
I got nothing else.
Like the like one of the scenes that I really enjoyed in the anime, which is in both Brotherhood and the original, is the first full fight against Scar, where you have Mustang trying to get a light in the rain, and Hawkeye goes in and baseball slides him down.
Yes.
Right.
You know you're useless in the rain.
But that would have taken some effort to put, the characters in to give Hawkeye a light, and also to not, we needed Scar because, well,
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
because
something
Hawkeye
dramatic-
keeps Mustang on schedule, keeps Mustang in line.
Yeah. Like, she's not just his friend or his confidant or his love interest. Like, she is pretty much everything to him, because he is an emotionally destroyed human being, because, again, what he had to do.
Right.
Yeah, she is his other half.
Yeah, in every single way of thinking. Like, in Fine. You know what? Fine. You guys talked me out of liking this movie.
Yay!
And this has been a successful rant and review.
Did you guys notice too that Mustang was able to get a light on his gloves even though they were soaked with his own blood?
Yep. Yeah, because
yeah.
why would he have weaknesses?
So this was something that wouldn't come across to you, Dale, but it doesn't matter because it wasn't relevant in the movie. I cannot hear you. Mustang has, so you know how they make a big deal out of Edward being able to transmute without drawing a circle. The reason that Mustang can is because he has that circle on his gloves, and what he does is he snaps his fingers, and the gloves are made of this abrasive fabric that causes a spark that he then transmutes and sends fire everywhere.
Yeah,
But he can't do it when his gloves are wet because there's no friction to get the spark.
Because that's how fire works.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
he was able to light his gloves when they were soaked with blood in the
I saw
movie.
that, I'm like, hang on. Either I'm dumb, which is possible. B, that's not how fire works. Like, I don't. Yeah, fire and water don't go well together. If Pokemon has taught me anything.
No, no, they do not. And turns out blood is mostly water.
Yes.
But is it thicker than water?
Yes. At least that's what they tell me.
At least that's what I'm.
That actually gets misquoted all the time, and it really bothers me.
A lot of things get misquoted all the time.
So, CJ, you'll understand this. Amber is chatting with me about this.
Okay.
And her biggest problem, aside from, everything else that we can point out for like days, them making her look weaker than her true personality on the show. She was meant to be his rock, his warmth, and they did not give her that respect in the movie.
No.
Well, in Brotherhood, she's just as broken as he is.
Yeah, because she went through some shit too.
She's just as broken, but she is the balance for him.
Yeah, they support each other.
Like in every relationship where one has a strength and the other has that weakness, they kind of balanced each other. So it was never a matter of clashing. It was, she was there to support him while he was supporting her, and they didn't give that in the movie.
Yeah, some people might see it as a filler, but her getting Hayate, the dog.
Yeah, what'd you guys think about the CG dog, by the way?
It was.
I were it not for the subject matter, I would have laughed at it.
Yeah, it was kind of a little.
It was cartoonish.
Dog. Bad doggo.
It was very cartoonish.
Bad fake doggo.
No, good doggo, bad person.
Like for the aesthetic.
Alexander and Nina are fine.
Yeah.
Tucker.
And this goes back to this movie trying too hard to look like an anime. They should have made it look as realistic and creepypasta as they possibly fucking could.
Yeah.
And instead, they just had somebody draw the creature and then 3D'd it and copy pasted some CG fur onto it.
I'm just glad that Alexander was an actual dog.
Yes. Yeah, Alexander, not Nina.
Which
not
I believe he is a Great Pyrenees, right?
Pyrenees?
Pilganese.
Great Pyrenees. She's not pure anymore because now it has a dog. Now it has a human in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Shan't pure.
Fusion. Ha!
But yeah, like it was completely dissonant from the aesthetic of the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and
Like they put more effort into the other chimeric animals that you see for a split second.
yeah,
Yeah. And
not ones that are supposed to have an emotional impact.
that one is supposed to have a really deep
Gut
emotional
punch.
Huge. Yeah,
cut to Edward. He quits
yeah.
being a state alchemist.
Because if they're willing to let him be a state alchemist, then he's done. There's no way. And yeah, there's no like, yeah, he beats the shit out of him, which is fine, deserves it. But like, that's it. Like, there's not much else there. All right, should we take a break?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We are going to take a quick break here from our sponsors for those who are listening on the podcast and those who are not, and also those who are, and everybody, and Hispanic.
Damn it!
We know I love Mr. Moracchioli and his heavy metal covers. Leo Moracchioli is a fantastic human being and should be applauded, and go support his Patreon if you're not supporting ours or both, because nobody's stopping you. He did a cover of Turned Down for What?
Oh my
And-
God.
For who? What?
Exactly. And it's brilliant, you guys. So that's what we're going to hear. We're going to hear a metal cover of Turned Down for What from Leo Moracchioli. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
Turned down for why?
Fire up the loud and then the rather shots. Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Pretty decent. Wolf mode definitely feels on the weaker side, but not too terribly surprising. Considering it's one really organic mode it's got, so.
Fire up the loud and then the rather shots. Turn down for what? 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 what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Oh man, and we're back.
Man, that song was awesome if I heard it.
Hey, don't blame me.
I know, I'm not blaming anyone but myself.
Dale's
let me tell
internet
you.
ran away from him.
My whole computer ran away with life.
I mean, Dale's internet.
That's okay.
didn't run away
Dale,
from him.
you and I were sharing headspace on the screen. So
Yeah.
we were just cuddling. It's okay.
Yep, not the first time. Hey!
Right? I mean, we're used to sharing the same headspace.
Is that
Right? All right.
you, me, table this Saturday? Let's go.
Hell yes!
Oh yeah!
I didn't do anything to deserve the table this time. God damn it!
No, it's about me this
I
time.
don't know, CJ. Did Thanos spare you or not? That's my one question.
No, I died.
Dale, it's just us.
Yeah. By the way, did Thanos spare you.com? I believe it is.
Oh god, are we still talking about this?
Thing.
Are we allowed to talk about this right now?
It's a
Or should we
website.
save that for next week?
It's a website.
Thanos kill.me.
Yeah. Did Thanos kill.me?
I
It's
lived.
a website.
I get to live. CJ's dead.
I'm not going that.
I'm okay with this. I mean, wait, what? I love you, honey.
Oh.
Harsh.
So welcome back to the Geek I Show.
Yeah. Here's what it is.
Oh.
So yeah, it's time for us to rant. It's time for us to. We've been ranting. Now it's time to review this. Yeah. Okay, that was
Sorry.
That,
Sorry.
Hey,
interesting.
that's the intro.
That was our new Tito
Hey,
bumper.
wait, that was already better audio than Ed had the whole time.
Yes. Yes.
No, Ed was fine. By the
It was
way,
fine.
I'm
Ed
gonna
should
put.
still make noise.
No, his arms should make noise.
Yes, he should still make noise.
So I'm gonna put this out there.
Hey.
Death by Mage. Do you want God Eater too? By the way, because I have a copy I was gonna give away if more people showed up, but it's only you that is eligible.
It is all you.
If you want God Eater 2 Rage Burst for PC, shoot me a PM.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's that. Well, yeah, he's the only
The only
follower
one
who's
who
not a
is-
mod.
Yeah, you're the only one who is available for the giveaway.
Right.
If you don't want it, I'll
Uh,
chop it out
it'll be alright.
because I already own it. Okay. Then other than that, all right, it is time for reviewing. Left or right? I'll go first.
Okay.
I didn't hate the movie. I mean, usually talking with you guys make me feel better about a movie, but it made me feel infinitely worse. So
Sorry.
thanks for
You're
that,
welcome.
We try.
Thanks for
Sorry.
that group of buttholes.
I love those.
I know you do. Me too. But that's not the point. But I still I took out of this movie. I didn't have a lot of expectations going into it because everybody was just kind of like, "Nah, it's all right. It's meh," and it's a little bit more than meh for me. Unfortunately, using the jazz scale of would I recommend it for somebody, I can only kind of maybe recommend it to somebody. So thusly, I'm getting it a 5. I can only kind of recommend it to somebody, and it's only like, hey, are you a fan of anime, and are you offended? If so, are you not offended by changes to source material?
It's a recommendation with an asterisk.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, but
So yeah, I'll give it a 5 because I mean I'd recommend it, but Rachel,
I mean, we got to see plenty of Envy's butt.
yeah, it's not a bad butt. She's a model for a reason.
It is the trannies in the Outback scale, so we gotta half it back to the source material somehow.
I'm fairly sure she is an actual model, so
I mean, if we could do 4 3/4, we could have half a nipple and a butt cheek.
I did not realize that was an actress.
I didn't say she was an actress. I said she was a model.
I mean, same.
No, sir.
That's
No.
That's the joke.
I thought it was just a really pretty J-Rock dude.
I mean, that too.
No, that was Envy.
Yes, also. You,
Yes, I
you
said
said
envy.
envy originally.
Oh,
It's an envy, not lust.
Originally.
I meant lust.
Yeah.
Yes, Lust is a model. Envy is probably a J-Rock dude. Yes, no.
My mages grilling me in the chat.
I was not nearly as endeared with the movie as I was with the anime. But, like CJ, I didn't hate it until I started getting bored with it because big, gigantic robots are supposed to go plum, 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 plum when they walk.
And not have blood marks on their face when they get punched.
Even Chrono Trigger.
No, that was him.
Fucking robot.
That was the
clanks.
blood coming off of Ed's fist, dude.
Yeah, that was Ed's blood that was getting smeared onto Al's face.
I thought that was Al's cheek getting
How
all
could that
bloody.
be Al's cheek?
Hand, not with his robot hand.
I'm
So-
very confused at how you could have got those mixed up, Tail.
They zoomed in on his bloody knuckles.
Multiple times.
Several times.
You're not paying
Must have
attention.
missed that. Yeah, I probably wasn't
I
paying
know. I
attention to that.
started falling asleep at the last 20 minutes of the movie. But I was still awake enough to see his bloody knuckles. So I mean, there's that. But I digress. I enjoyed aspects of it. Scar not being in there bothers me. And CJ had okay, I won't lie. CJ had to remind me about Scar, and I'm like, I just feel like something's missing. He goes, yeah, Scar is missing. I'm like,
Yeah, a major character is missing.
keeping in mind, at this point, I had laid down and curled up under the blanket of death that
Yeah,
Christopher got to, fall asleep under today. So it really is a blanket of death because it puts you right to sleep.
Is
So
it a
I'm
weighted
feeling
blanket?
No,
It's
it's just a
fully
super
packed
comfy blanket from PAX East.
From PAX.
Oh.
So, yeah. I loved the effects. There was some really cool effects that they threw in there. But it seems like that's where their budget for effects ended. Nifty fire tricks and nifty light tricks, and then no sound effects for giant robot. Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but robots are supposed to clank,
Chung, 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 chung. Magitech armor.
right? And let's go back. Chrono Trigger was able to do it with Robo.
Yeah, way back on the Super Nintendo.
Why did this not have any robot sounds? This bothers me. And I know it's something stupid to get hung up on, but that's what I get hung up on. I get hung up on.
No, I mean, that's something that takes you out of immersion. That's important when you're dealing with media.
Right.
I want the full effect. I want the Full Metal Alchemist full effect. I want to hear his arm clang when it hits the wall. I want to hear the thudding of the robot as it walks across the ground, especially when it's walking on fucking cement.
That too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's walking on a hard surface. It's not like he's walking on carpet.
And if you're going to have a character say, if you keep punching him like that, you will kill him, you need to be able to feel and hear that impact.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting scolded for forgetting, main storyline character, but it was a while since I've watched the original Full Metal Alchemist. So, I mean, there's that. the dummies.
They looked so stupid.
They were so stupid looking, but it's one of those you look at them and you go, "Oh, that looks gross," but oh, that's so cool, but it's so dumb.
Yeah.
When they started splatting on the floor, Taco Lady burst out laughing.
Yeah. And of course, duh, if you wake up brainless, stupid things and call yourself Papa, you look like a Papa Frites to me, so I'm gonna nibble on you. Good night.
The noise as well, like the whole thing. It's just so dumb.
It's like they got the little boy who was playing in the beginning and
This is probably another one of those scenarios, I'm guessing, where they tried to make the CG creatures look exactly like the anime.
Yep.
And it didn't work.
100%.
So I normally don't fall to the jazz scale of things, but I have to agree. Would I recommend it? If you're really bored on, a Tuesday afternoon and it happens to click into your Netflix lineup, sure, sit down and watch it for shits and giggles.
Right, if you've got to spare 4
But-
hours spare.
I'm not gonna waste another 2 hours and 20 minutes of my life on this movie instead of eating dinner.
I blame the crappy
Dinner,
post-production guys,
Bad movie.
the writers, the actors, all that.
No, I don't blame the actors, except
No,
for
you can't blame the actors. They are only doing what they can with what they're physically given.
I could blame the director though, can I?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
can blame the director. You can blame the screenwriter. You can blame the blame the producer.
Blame.
Blame.
Blame whoever decided not to hire a Foley artist.
Right?
That's
Blade. You can blade. You can braid.
Like, it's stupid little things that just added up to the point of, okay, and then you forgot your main character.
Yeah.
Your main bad in the anime and you forget him. You suck.
Well, he's not. He's a main bad for only like 2 episodes.
But he's still a main bad, and he's a turning point. So, shame. I'd wave a bell at you. I don't have a bell on my desk. That's one of the few things I don't fucking have on my desk.
Ringing hypothetical bell.
I will shame. I will shame diffuser top you. Shame. Shame.
Yeah, I'm gonna ring my empty Starbucks cup.
Ooh, Starbucks. I haven't had that in a couple days.
You're
So
welcome.
I'm gonna go with CJ and be like, there's your nice middle of the road number 5. Not to be confused with the 5 that I've given to really shit movies that have really deserved lower, but I was being generous because of people that were watching it with me in the room.
No, don't blame the room. This is not...
I hate that movie. I hate
It's
that
not the
movie.
room's fault.
Al.
Oh, by the way, the Disaster Artist is still really good.
Oh, hi, Ed. No.
Oh, hi, Ed.
Oh, hi,
What a
Ed.
story.
So yeah, there's your 5 from me. Wait, we can have 5 beautiful trannies lined up, but only if 4 of them look like lust and 1 of them looks like envy. Because one of them has to make you wonder if it's male or female.
Not making
Let's
that
just
joke.
face it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Random aside, really quick. Not a whole lot of the cast actually looked like the character they were supposed to be playing.
No.
No.
Okay, so that, all
Not-
right, that
not
was
even
a throw off for me
remotely.
too. That was a throw off for me too. I'm like,
The best
Yeah, go on.
the best resemblance is Hughes's hair.
Yeah. Hughes didn't look too much apart from the source material. Too
No,
much.
Hughes actually worked for me.
Um,
Most of the other characters did not.
Winry was flat out distracting. Like, she looked so different than what she was actually supposed to look like. Like, I've said time and time again that I make no shame of the fact that I enjoy smart, intelligent women a lot. And, like, that was one point where I was really hung up on.
Okay. That was very distracting for me, is that I'm like, these are some very odd character choices. Like, do they look like this in the anime, or do they like?
No, they
am I
don't.
being washed here. Okay, being washed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and I like Amber's version of this. Prepubescent unknown gender envy.
Oh, the character envy, that just not being envious at all. Yeah.
It can go either way.
Right. All right, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Hi. We've been doing this rant and review thing for a while now, right?
Yes, at least that's what they tell me.
Right. At least that's what the spreadsheet tells me. I found this movie very hard to judge. Mainly because when I go into a movie, I kind of know a little bit about it. Either I do research or do something. This movie, I had no idea, well, very limited idea of what was going to happen walking into this movie. So it's really hard to judge on that scale. So please do take my rating with a grain of, or a bucket of salt. Take your pick. This movie just felt flat.
You're muted.
Oh,
I said, pinch of salt around the rim of a margarita glass.
right? I can go with that right now. But it's very hard to judge from not knowing much of the source material, who these characters are, because this movie didn't do any of that. Like, this movie didn't really set up of who these characters were, and I'm sure I'm not going to be the only one seeing this thing on Netflix, because Netflix does the recommendation thing going, oh, I think for me it was like a 84% match or something to what I would have based on recommendations. If someone gets like a 99% recommendation, they would have gone, oh, okay, I'm just going to watch this random FullMetal Alchemist movie. And I wanted some character development. That's all I wanted. And I didn't get that at all. And even still sitting here after however long this episode is, I still don't fully know who these characters are. I have a better idea, but I still don't really know who they are. Like, I feel like I still have to go watch the anime or do extended reading on who these people actually are. And I spent 2 hours and 20 minutes with these people, still don't know who they are.
One of the reasons I'm so offended by the movie is because the anime does have that. So if you are interested in knowing who these people are, watch the show.
and like I said earlier, the movie seems like a massive pitch for the TV show. So, and it's a really meh pitch. But anyway, apart from that, no character development. This movie seems flat. Like, it seems very one-dimensional across the board. Even the conflicts just seem very flat. Like, they don't get me excited as like a fight sequence would. Maybe the end conflict got me a little excited. I mean, because I knew the movie was ending soon, but who knows? Or it could have been just me with my pooey pants on. And it just, the costuming is so bad, and the sound design is just atrocious and all over the place, and the splat of the grey people in the alleyway just, I don't know, just seems so thin. And by the way, why do you have to shoot them in the head to kill them? Like, wouldn't just shooting them work?
No, because they explicitly said that anything with a Philosopher's Stone in it, even if it's a weaker one like those ones are, need to have a special, like, they need to be killed in a certain way. And these ones, in fact, you had to destroy the Philosopher's Stone, which was in their heads.
So see, yeah, that again, this is me not knowing the source material. I didn't know that.
They said it though. They said that the Philosopher's Stone amplifies energy, and these guys have Philosopher's Stones. That's what they're being driven by. Okay,
I must have missed the part where they said that it was in their heads.
They showed it going into their heads.
Okay. So, well, yeah. There's
okay, me.
Okay, whatever I want. So, again, this is a very hard movie to judge, because I still think walking away from it, I didn't really... I gained a little bit, but I still don't think I gained quite enough. Would I recommend this movie to anyone? Not really. No, I don't think I would. But it's not a terrible movie. It's very flat of a movie. So with that, I'm going to give this movie a 4.
It really is a Sunday afternoon. There's nothing on TV. What am I gonna? Oh, look, there's something. Oh.
I mean, you must be really bored, and if you've got 2.5 hours free on a Sunday, you might want to partake in some other activities other than watching this movie. Just saying.
Well, you know, when you have 2 kids and one of them's grounded for stupid shit, this is what you watch.
Oh, okay, there you go. Well, yeah, they're not leaving the house, so you know.
So this is punishment enough, right?
I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying it's I feel like I'm giving the impression that I think it's a bad movie. It's just very.
No, you're just doing this to the director, going, "Hi, hi,
No,
hi."
I'm not doing that.
You're calling it a badly made meh movie?
Right, it's a badly made meh movie.
Can you rap about that though?
Nope.
On street.
Doing the blow. And I have no choice. We're not doing the tax time theme song either. Hey, Raul, what do you got?
Okay. I did not like this movie at all. No character development. They put everything completely out of order. The whole Shout Tucker is supposed to happen before he gets his state alchemy. Is it before? Yeah, it's before, right?
It's before he renews his state alchemy.
No. Edward and Alphonse.
Yeah, Edward was already a state alchemist. He has to renew it later on in the series.
he had to renew it. Yes, okay.
Because the Tucker thing is what introduces the concept of having to basically renew your license.
Oh, okay. Like Kerry was saying, the checklist have Alexander and Nina, have lust, envy, gluttony, missed that one. Like their major points. I mean, the fight between the brothers is supposed to be an emotional fight because you've got 2 brothers fighting. And I kind of like zoned out of that because I didn't really care. In the anime, it's just so much more emotional, and like I understand them wanting to do a live action of the anime, but stop trying to emulate the actual emotes from the anime, like the actual expressions and all that.
Yeah, anime does not work on regular human faces.
Yeah, come up with something else that works with that. That way you get a solid adaptation of. But yeah, I would not recommend this. Even if it came up on TV at 3 a.m, I would not watch this. I would just watch something else. What's the lowest we can give, CJ?
0.5 technically.
0.5, yeah. I don't think we ever established a 0.
You can have a tranny butt.
Oh,
You can have
I think most of us rated Sausage Party at a 1 for context.
Oh, come on. This has to be better than Sausage Party.
This is. I don't want to say miles better, but
mine. I'm rating it 0.5. I could not.
You would watch Sausage Party over this.
You would watch Wieners over this?
Yes.
I don't think you watched Wieners. Did you watch Wieners, Raul?
Yes, I did.
You would watch the Ridiculous 6 over this?
Yes, I like the Ridiculous 6.
I hated that movie as well. That was a poorly made movie too. Yeah, the 4's better than what I gave the Ridiculous. Oh, who knows? Anyway.
Kerry.
Okay, so was I entertained by this movie? Not really. As much as I'm, giving it shit on a rant and review, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. I wasn't actively throwing things at the screen. so that's something.
Oh, okay.
I can tell that they tried. It was still a miss for me, but they tried. It's not Sausage Party.
The fact that Raul gave this less than Sausage Party is actually insulting. Like,
Yeah.
No, I don't know. There's something, I don't know. The Sausage Party, they set out to do what they were meant to do, I guess.
Yeah, but Sausage Party is a flaming
Yes.
garbage pile. Treatment of women in the movie. What women? There was a sexy lamp and a crying doormat.
It's a new sitcom coming
It
this
was a
spring.
soggy doormat. It
And a
wasn't even crying,
and a dead mom figure. So they took two of the, two basically iconic anime female characters and reduced them to tropes. And sometimes calling them tropes is an exaggeration of the significance they had in this movie.
Fair.
Can I recommend this to somebody? I really can't. But at the same time, I can tell that they tried. There was some amount of effort put into it, if not love. I can tell there was no love put into this. At least not at least not by the production staff. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Just for the efforts of the people who did do their best, but I still, this one was a miss for me.
That's fair.
And Josh.
I did not like this movie, and that's saying something considering it gave me a giant shiny metal thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she said.
Like I said, the best comparison I can draw is I watched FullMetal Alchemist, and then I went and found Saban's shiny metal sorcerer. Or, whatever we're going to substitute alchemist with for similar to but legally distinct from reasons. It was disjointed. It wasn't well polished. The disparity in the sound design, in the effects design, in the acting, the emoting, the dialogue. There was just not much to like about this movie at all. And that's saying something considering it has, again, 2 of my favorite things. Giant shiny metal things and people with mechanical limbs.
Right.
Those are almost always an easy pass for me.
But would you watch Wieners willingly?
No.
Okay.
I would still watch this over Sausage Party again, but I would be hard pressed to watch this again.
This.
Yes.
That's a frightening thought.
It really, the absence of characters, the complete mishandling of the characters, everything about it was just wrong. And Sausage Party aside, because that's, the golden pile of exception for its utterly low quality, probably going to be one of the lowest scores I give with a 2.
Boom.
Because it's number 2. It's a steaming pile.
Oh, 2 for a 2.
All right. Whew, boy. So
Wait, that can't be right. Go on.
Okay. What?
I just tried to do the average, and it came out the average was 1. That's not. I don't think that's right.
With the 0.5, it might weigh it down to that point, to that much.
Shouldn't.
Should be 4.1.
No, 3.1. Yeah, 3.41.
0.41.
Ooh, what am I doing? Hi.
What am I doing?
Oh,
Not math,
no.
apparently.
I'm screwing up the notes, which is my job anyway, so there's that.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. You can listen to us live Thursdays 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Fridays at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/geekioshow. You can get a hold of us via email at geekioshow@gmail.com, Twitter, Facebook, all of the social medias are /geekioshow. If you want to give us a call, you can do that as well. 727-489-4335. That is 727-489-GEEK. We also have a Discord that you can join with us and talk with us live at geek-io.net/Discord. You can support this stream and everything that we do on the Geek IO network by heading over to patreon.com/geekio. While you're there and you subscribe to us, you get a special access to a private Patreon where you can help give comment.
Are you alright? Are you okay?
He's from Moon.
I'm from the moon.
You are from the move?
I am from the moon. Where you
we
can
can
give input on the shows that
shows.
you love to listen to.
You're
I
right.
put the reason why in the Zoom chat. Why I am not.
Yes,
CJ's had a ridiculously long day, and we've had a very stressful week. And tomorrow is Friday, so
I wanted to disconnect with this goddamn movie, and it wouldn't let me. Hey Josh,
Hey, CJ.
what's going on next week?
Next week, well, I'm told that one doesn't often consider fun when balancing the universe.
Huh?
So we're going to go ahead and rant and review Avengers Infinity War with special guest Brian Rushwood.
Just as a heads up, again, we're running giveaways all this week or all this month. We are almost at 1,000 likes, 1,000 followers on Twitch, you guys. We are 17 away from that. If we can make that next week, there will be a huge, massive giveaway. Gigantic. I'm talking hundreds of dollars worth of stuff given away next week if we can hit 1,000 follows during the show.
Spoiler alert, it's
Dun,
the full
dun,
version of
dun.
It's the full version of the Dale rap worth hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
No, that's priceless.
That is worth thousands of dollars. And I have to go through your manager to get that and everything.
No. And yeah, my talent manager, he's really, really, really rough these days. He reckons he's busy like with publicity of a new film, but I need managing too.
A live screening of The Room with the Geek IO show hosts?
What?
What? I didn't agree to anything.
But
No.
yeah, if we hit
Nope. If you guys will not watch Howard the Duck, I am not going to watch the freaking Room again.
that's fine.
That's on y'all.
Fine. We'll do it a generic live show event then.
You don't have to be involved.
What was that? You want the internet paid for? Okay.
But yeah,
Now it's time for.
if we hit 1,000 people, 1,000 followers next week on the show, I will do a massive prize drop, and it will be fan freaking tastic, and I can promise you that. Tune in Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure that you've watched Avengers: Infinity War, and or if you haven't, are not afraid of spoilers. So it's time for Dale's favorite one because he doesn't have to hear himself.
The Summer Movie Smackdown Update.
Oh, I'm enjoying these next 6 months.
Don't worry, it's right next to it.
Okay, just summer real quick.
Now it's time
When we go to Australia in June.
Winter Movie
Summer.
Smackdown Update.
But it'll be winter.
I can just double
Because
it.
it's gonna be May.
It's second week, and shit got turned upside down real quick. Raul will no longer feel pretty after this week,
Oh.
and I will no longer be a super trooper. Those are gone. Bye. Be gone. Entering the second week, and this will be the real point where Raul's massive investment in Infinity War pays off. Because first week it was no weird thing that I was going to make all of the money. What's that second week drop off going to look like? That's why are the notes messed up?
I don't know. The table's all wonky.
It is. Why is the table all wonky?
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
glad I'm not the only one bothered by it.
Hey, I put the table in there, but somehow it didn't got replaced. So
entering the
didn't have
second
time to
week,
make a new time.
Tully and Bad Samaritan, Dale and Charles movies, which apparently have brought in. They're entering their second week. I'm guessing they're entering into the thing.
Wait, what? No, it's a It does say that. Oops.
Entering into the competition is Dale's, Tully, and Charles's.
Oh God!
Upping the Bad Samaritan by Charles. I was like, how did these movies come out and literally make no money? I don't understand.
I mean, they'll probably make no money anyway. But no, I fixed it. You're welcome.
Hey, CJ.
Raul's in first place with $9.7 million. Again, that's going to be it's a lot of money, but there's a fair chance that second week drop off could just kind of stifle you there.
I don't know because because a lot of people wait for
Last Jedi says hello.
Well, yes, but that was the Last Jedi,
which is a good movie. There is second week drop off is a massive thing. Like that is a thing that we need to worry about. You need to worry about. I'm good with this. I would second place with $1.5 million. Josh, Kerry, Charles, and Dale waiting for the first film. Hi, Raul.
Yeah, some things happened this week. Generic Light Show had a serious recap of the Korean peace talks and why clickbait headlines are the worst. Also, Generic Live Show hosted its own AMA. That's Ask Me Anything. Tune in Sunday to find out what a sassy penguin is.
I'm a sassy penguin.
Also, the opposite of a koala.
Yes, the opposite of a koala.
Okay, over on the Mana Pool, we had fun, festivities, a fractured test of strength. The band of adventurers continue on through the fairgrounds. Sampling wares, cutting candy, witnesses displays of skill and power. Flames are played with. Bartered is tossed. Banter. Banter. I fixed it. Banter is tossed about and marks are hit. Strength is tested, as is patience. But something lurks deeper. How will our heroes handle the beast? And CJ is back on Liquid Handicap. Woo! And he played Mighty Number 9.
I'm both glad and sad I missed that because that game makes me want to drink.
I'm so sad that I missed that part.
CJ is now in the Josh and Raul camp that game is the worst.
So, okay. I never played it. I only played the intro on the PC as Beck. I got the Rachel expansion for the PC, and
amazing.
Like, she makes that game pretty decent.
I mean,
like playing her as a unique individual is pretty decent. Beck is just miserable. Yes, Rachel, you are amazing.
Yes, you are amazing.
Also, then I got pissed off at Mighty Number 9, and we played a Japanese waifu game for a little bit.
That I tuned in for and for 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, you did. You pulled a Kerry.
Hey, we have show titles.
Why are you stuttering over that? Usually only do that when I say something that irritates you. The joke is with Kerry and she shows up 5 minutes before the show ends.
There you go.
How is that a bad thing?
Except I did it worse and showed up like 30 seconds after the stream went off online, and because I was on the mobile version has like a 1.5-minute delay.
Yeah, Kerry did that too. She's literally tuned in during my outro. Like,
yep.
Nice.
All right, so we have show title candidates over at geekioshow.tv. And I think it works both ways, but whatever. But that we and our mage and our chat has been putting stuff in through the entire show. Now is the point in the show where Kerry embarrasses herself by reading them.
So we have Holy Daily. Do you have nut milk bags? Bang what? Philosopher Stone. Hugh dies again. When will these kids learn that reanimating the dead is a bad idea? Full Cardboard Alchemist. Ha ha ha, you think this is going to get a sequel. Family Pool. Sequel, FullMetal Hollow Creature. Adorable Potato Gluttony. Awkward Edgelord Potato. Itty Bitty Burly Guys. We'll Make You Blonde. Unsynced Mouths. Prepubescent Unknown Gender Envy. Sexy Lamp and Crying Doormat. And Saban's Shiny Metal Sorcerer.
I put mine in there.
It's a three-way tie.
It is. We have, do you have nut milk bags? Which is, it makes no sense for context.
Hey, Steve, welcome to my world.
Wait, that was pre-show, wasn't it?
I don't care. I don't care.
Hey, welcome to my world.
I wish I could vote multiple times for do you have nut milk bags?
It is a good title.
Because it has nothing to do with anything.
I really want to throw it in there because everyone can get annoyed at pre-show bits more.
All right, Full Cardboard Alchemist, which may or may not be a cosplay that I bring to Dragon Con, is the winner. All right, guys. On that note, we will see you back here next week when we talk Avengers. Bye.
Bye.
I'll be back in studio.
What the hell?
And you call me bad at this.
Hi, my name is Water Buffalo, and this is live from Melbourne, Victoria. I'm in Melbourne, Victoria. I hope you've enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Hope you've enjoyed this Geek IO Media Network production. For more, visit geek-io.net. Copyright 2018.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.